Welcome as you come in. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, hi from
Tell you what,
Tassie.
this new light's making my head shine. It's not good.
Does mate, you've got Ed's got a special light. He's now got so enraptured with his various fan club. He's now got himself a bloody light.
That or that?
Well, either equally. Natural halo, Ed.
Ah.
Go for the natural halo. He's got a halo light behind there, I promise you. As opposed to me, who's barely brushed his hair. So there you go. And Rob, who doesn't have to, of course.
No, I can't.
Just hold on while Ed gets his lighting right. He's just.
Yeah.
Get Ruby to stand in for you, Ed, and then
No, sadly, she's not here. Otherwise, I'd get her to join Koo in this particular episode.
Well, indeed, she was in it. Indeed.
Your hair's being admired, Paul.
What's being mad?
Your hair. You're the only one who's got any, I suppose.
That's right. It's got to allow daylight savings. Have you gone daylight savings, guys? Have you?
It's a while for us,
We're
guys.
normally a week later. We're normally a week behind you, aren't we?
This is the time of year I always feel really jealous because we're going into winter and they're coming into.
Yeah, exactly right.
We go into winter, I think, at the end of this month, which is ideal, really, because I start filming the next day. And if you're filming and you lose a light, oh, God.
It's gone really weird, a bit like Boris this morning on Andrew Marr. I mean, if that's a Welsh man, I'm a Dutchman.
Lucy had last week.
What am I filming? I'm filming.
I've got dodgy Wi-Fi, but it's worrying when I drop out of Zoom completely, as I know there's a limit to how many people. No, Lucy, don't worry at all. You're welcome to be there as often as you want.
Yeah.
And if you can't, don't worry about it at all. We were teasing you, Lucy. I must stop this tendency I have to take the piss out of anybody who hoves across my view. There's no problem at all, darling. In or out, you're fine.
Now listen, everybody. We have a stunning birthday cake.
Oh my God!
Look at that.
Where'd it come from?
That's Claire, 40th.
Hey, Claire.
Oh my God!
Which bit are you going to eat first?
Are
Start
you
at the back or start at the front?
Who made that for you, Claire?
stunning, isn't it?
Beautiful.
That is fabulous. Well, whoever made that ought to go into business. So
Yeah,
people.
with us.
That's great.
And another one here to share with you from Ben Underwood, who was sent this. Oh, not that one.
Don't send that one, Rob, for God's
Yeah.
sake.
Oh, yeah.
That could have been very dangerous.
Yeah, you go
Be
straight.
careful what you're doing in there, Rob.
Wait, it's not doing it. There you are. Can you see that?
What's that one?
Oh, that's a red dwarf. That's wonderful.
Well, indeed. There you are. You know what to get for birthdays from Alan Morris.
Okay, well,
We all in, so
we'll call that all. We're doing time slides today. And I don't know if any of you have already guessed. You can probably see the name, some of you, I think. It depends on the view you're in. We have a very, very special guest star. It is not Mrs. Bai, as she's locally known.
No, she doesn't recognise that name.
It's
We were in a hotel once, and somebody said there's a loudspeaker system, and it said, "Could Mrs. Bai come to reception?" And Ruby turned around to me and said, "Why is somebody trying to call your mother?"
I do believe that.
she is on a retreat, Ed, I think, isn't she?
Yeah.
And couldn't join us.
She was away in Scotland, so sadly couldn't join us, but would have done otherwise.
We went second best, and we got.
This,
Nice one, Paul. Oh,
Legendary.
thanks, mate. I'm going to
Well,
record.
come on, mate. Just tell her I said that, won't you?
I will.
We went second best and got the legendary Miss. Stop.
Hi, boys.
Hello. How are you?
Lovely to be with you again. It's been a very long time. So pleased
lovely.
to be invited on the show. Thank you.
It's lovely to see you. You're looking better. The age has not withered a single day. You look as
I'm
wonderful as you did
64. I'm 64. You wouldn't think, would
you
you?
look
then.
better.
Not.
You look better than you do.
And of course,
Still
May
got
I just say one thing,
Yes,
boys?
indeed.
Before we start, there must be, for legal reasons, no mention of Prince Andrew.
of course, good.
Absolutely.
Totally understood.
Right.
Totally
Prince
understood.
Andrew, you know who I'm talking about.
Who? Who?
Prince Andrew, the Queen's son.
Yes.
I went out with him for 2 years. 1981 to 1982, all over the Falklands War. Lovely man, rather rotund now. Bald.
I think it's
You must
probably better
know.
if you don't talk about that, Koo. I think that's probably
We're not going to talk about him.
Don't talk
No,
about
he
it.
loved me, you know. He loved me. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to
No.
talk about it.
For those who
Koo,
don't,
this particular episode was not a massive part. Did you? How did you react to that not having a massive part?
I'm used to it, not getting a massive part.
Oh, I thought you weren't going to mention Andrew.
Naughty Ed. Naughty Ed. You were like this 20, 30 years ago. You haven't changed. Your schoolboy humour. I love it, of course, but for legal reasons, I need to just watch my step.
You're right. It's a
Koo,
right,
Koo, we
it's a
know.
right
Can I
royal
also
good
mention-
idea.
Koo, we know
For legal reasons.
you've given
For
us
legal reasons.
much pleasure with your many roles over the years.
Thank you. And so as not to embarrass me, please do not mention my role in the 1976 softcore porn film called Emily, in which I played a sensuous young lady who was trying to seek her emotions through her physical blossoming. It was directed by Henry Herbert, and it was a lovely time. But don't mention it.
We're not-
All the
we won't mention that.
1977
Any of that. Koo.
Coral Passions. Do not, otherwise I'm off. You mentioned
No,
Coral
Koo,
Passions.
please. I think we should get on to the.
I just-
we're not mentioning Prince Andrew or the porn career.
No,
Thank you.
not at all.
No, not the porn career or Prince
I
Andrew.
appreciate
Was he in the porn thing, or was it just no? Just,
No, because Prince Andrew was a helicopter pilot, if you remember, in the war.
That's
Yes,
right.
And I
Did
think
you ever get onto his chopper at Koo?
No, but I fitted with this joystick. Now, anyway, but no, enough. You've drawn me in. You've drawn me down, haven't you?
All right, guys.
Right, come on. Enough of this, boys.
we're going to play the show. It's Timeslides. And
Charles is an American. You've got it's irony, Charles. You won't recognise it.
it's
I
irony.
wish you would have said she was a gunner's hand. May have been. I may have been.
Let's get on with time slides, guys. 1, 2, 3.
3, 2, 1, play. And here we go. We have Starfield. We have.
Got a Starfield. We have, yes. Oh God, I got it right for once. So, Koo, just during opening titles, can I ask,
Yes.
were you named Koo because you look like a pigeon?
Yes, as a baby. Yes, I was. And I used to shit myself a lot. So
On to your
it's
parents'
true,
head.
it was. But my real name is Kathleen. Did you know that?
Kathleen.
And I'm a photographer. Could I just add one thing before we start? The remastered digital, I get no royalties, and yet, do you know how much I get for a photo nowadays? 30 pence. I can't live on that.
And
Where are my receipts?
why don't you get
Where?
why don't you get royalties, Koo?
I don't know. I'm asking you that. I'm sure there's been some fiddling, the BBC fiddling. Well known for it, I've heard.
I think there was intervention from a very powerful source to say.
Yeah, Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, I think
I've had a hard life since. Money has been a long-standing issue with me. I just can't get enough of it.
Ed, I just was wondering, Ed, was this a difficult episode to shoot at all?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I hadn't even started to go on how difficult this show was to shoot.
I love
Unbelievably
this game. I want this game.
Yeah. It's a
We
great
used
game.
to have one of those Putomatic things where you had the little.
It was a moment of trying to get the golf course to look like it was a real golf course at the beginning of the show. Oh no, we didn't quite succeed. Just for a moment, I wanted to think people were looking at a real golf course, but of course they weren't. And it never
Koo, there's nothing you can say about any of this because you weren't in any of this, as it happens. Your bit comes later, Koo.
How did you get on with the cast? Did they in any way interact with you between scenes? Cool.
Yes, I did. I was particularly taken with Robert Addy, who had a lovely posh voice. He played the servant, of course. Lovely man, and I wonder what happened to him. Gorgeous man, lovely man. But that the table manners of Craig Charles at that table really upset me. He has no manners, none at all. And we, of course, we filmed in that lovely Limehouse stately home, which made me think, what could have been? What could have been if...
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Yes, it was a wonderful time at the West End. I was surprised to see it wax because I had heard that Graham Chapman was supposed to be that Houses of the Rich and Famous commentator. Apparently, am I right in saying that he sadly passed on just before the...
Yes, we've been working with him on an American project, and he was such a great guy, and he'd agreed to do it. And we thought he'd beaten cancer, and all of a sudden it just sneaked back up on him as it does sometimes.
I'm so sad.
We lost him.
If any of you haven't seen
By the way, Durex volleyball was a game we used to play.
Durex,
Explain the rules, please.
The local restaurant closed down, and we got the Durex machine.
if I don't know,
Great music here. Can I just explain about this sequence? This was written as, you'll see later on what we mean is that we see some photographs hanging on a wire. We pan along the photographs, and each photograph is animated, and we see the scene moving inside it. And then helpfully the writer wrote on the bottom of that, this will be done with the blue screen. So it's a little bit more complex than that. We didn't have a motion control camera, so we had to cut from one shot to the next. But eventually we did manage to pan from one photograph to the other with a moving image, which is quite hard to do.
it's quite difficult.
Very hard to do.
Very difficult to do that.
Very, very, very difficult, yeah.
Was that music from Craig's band? No, I think that was the...
That's later on.
that was...
No,
Can I
Craig's
just say
band
that, somebody
was
just-
Rich, the Rich theme that happens outside the Lime Mansion.
Koo, you have something to say?
Well, somebody just noted that Graham Chapman died 31 years ago today.
Today was apparently.
Wow, really? God.
I'm not sure if it's available to view,
yes.
but the Pythons did a session at the Aspen Comedy Festival many years ago, and they brought Graham on stage with them in an urn, and it's a brilliant piece of comedy. If that, find that anywhere, have you seen it?
Yeah.
If you can find it anywhere, it's worth looking up. The Pythons.
The urn. Oh, sorry, no.
He wasn't able to earn. Yeah. He was in the urn, but it is a fabulous piece of comedy from Cleese. It's worth a look if you can dig it out.
Yeah, very good.
I went to Graham's memorial service, and John Cleese was absolutely... I mean, he said, what can I say about Graham Chapman? He was a complete cunt.
At the funeral. At the funeral.
I think also Eric Idle said fuck, and he said, hang on, am I the first person to say fuck in church?
A somewhat sacrilegious, a somewhat unusual funeral.
He said fuck first, apparently, according to one of our friends. We need to know that. We need to get it.
Yeah. How did you come up with the idea of tension sheet, Rob? Did you really think you were going to make money out of this?
Well, we used to get the packing paper and thought, this is so chilling. We should market this. And somebody did, didn't they? Somebody got rich on it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
By doing a tension sheet?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just bubble wrap.
Rob, could you explain to me how the idea of, I know, bubble wrap equals time travel? How did those two... How is that even insanely possible in any right man's mind?
It is.
Oh, here's the panning shot of the photographs with everything happening in them. That's
This is
not
a
easy to
really
do.
difficult bit, everybody. Drum roll here.
That was really hard, that bit, everyone. Okay.
Right, come on. How did you do that, Ed?
I did it without a motion control camera. I mean, it's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Bloody
of
miracle,
technology.
Ed. And the trouble is, it would all be done in 5 minutes today, so you wasted
Yeah,
all that
absolutely.
video.
Now, talk about complicated. Here
You
you
just
go.
waited for 30 years.
So you got the screen there. Craig walks in front of it, see? And lands into the location. So he had him walk
That looked hard.
towards the screen and then try and match his image with the film that we'd shot months earlier so he could walk in and do one and the other. He does the same thing when he comes out of the screen. Craig, doing all his own stunts, jumped out of that, jumped on a block that was in front of that screen and landed on the floor, and we just wipe in the original photograph. And you can see when he drops out, it's pretty good. It matches quite well.
So,
Also, Chris is really enjoying punching Craig in the stomach there.
So, Ron, what was the thinking here? Did you just want a time travel episode and you didn't want the time machine, or?
No,
Here we go.
a new
Oh,
way.
not bad, eh? When
And
he
we
pops
can
out.
see how bloody clever it is, Ed.
It
I'm
was-
asking about the creative input.
And Q mentioned something before the rehearsal about this sequence.
Oh, look, walking into the screen.
Now, there was more script to this, but according to legend, Craig realised that they couldn't talk to, the skiers couldn't talk to them about the photos they
Look at this.
in return.
Sorry, I was just going to interrupt that. Danny's hand coordination with the snowball was fantastic. Sorry, carry on, Bob.
No, it's okay. And here's Adolf. No, we didn't get into trouble for saying that Adolf Hitler was himself because it's true, isn't it?
It was actually Hitler playing himself, wasn't it, Rob? That wasn't a stand-in or anything.
Yeah, no, that's really Hitler.
So what else would you put?
Yeah.
So
Well, I think, comedy aside, this I was quite surprised this episode. I haven't seen it in years, but it's got this existential angst at the heart of it about that line about if you're in prison, at least there's a prospect you can get out. It's achingly sad, I thought.
well, it's the whole situation. These really only one real human guy just on his own in the entire universe. I mean, it is an achingly sad situation, but you don't often refer to it. I mean, they're the posse, they're out having fun, but fundamentally they'd be going nuts, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's a lot what it's about. So I was quite that's a sort of springboard for it.
Well, you don't often refer to it.
No, and Adolf Hitler did not only have one testicle. That is a fallacy.
He had three, I heard. He had
He had
three.
three. One was on his.
There's a rumour put out by Fatty Churchill.
Well,
He said.
that happens in war. You know this thing about.
Right. This bomb, the bomb. So he kicks it, it goes behind the wipe, and we blow out the woofer from behind it.
Nobody cares.
Ed, see this single close-up here now, Ed. How did you shoot that? Was that that single close-up of Craig?
Is there any way I can just mute Paul?
Was that done on a camera, Ed, the single close-up, or did you have
That's
to?
all right. It's all right. A man is going to come round and shoot you any second. Just on the phone.
Chris, very.
Yeah, is that Contract Killers Limited?
Hitler wasn't a vegetarian. I thought he was.
Who's a vegetarian?
Hitler, I thought he was. But
He
there's
loved dogs and was vegetarian, yes.
What was in the sandwich? Banana and what? There you go. Somebody will remember. Crisps. Hey, okay. Is that vegetarian? Crisps? Yeah.
Banana and crisps.
Right.
There you go.
But Napoleon was actually taller than Nelson. But the fallacy is he was a little small, the little Corsican. It happens and it sticks.
Well, so how tall was he then? Was Nelson very short then?
Nelson was pretty short, but
Very tiny man.
Napoleon was average.
You remember it well, Goo.
Andrew had a particular interest in Nelson, but don't mention Andrew. Andrew had a particular interest. As
He was a Navy
as
man.
all
He was
army
a Navy man, wasn't he, Goo? Like a lot
the
of
Navy man, yeah. But
Have you?
in many ways a great man, in many ways a small man.
Yeah. He couldn't sweat, could he?
Are we talking about
notice
Andrew
that?
again now? What are we talking about?
He couldn't sweat.
No, apparently not. Because of what happened during the Falkland Wars.
Ed,
Nelson or Andrew?
Ed, you've misunderstood. He couldn't swim.
Oh,
Swim.
that's what it was. Sorry. Hiya.
That an early learning reader.
Yeah,
Perhaps you
Now, Rob,
misunderstood.
I want to just ask you about the exact rule here, because we've established very clearly, haven't we, that there has to be a photograph, the frame of which out with they cannot go.
Oh, people would rather listen to Ed saying how hard the shot was than hear facts about Napoleon. Well,
Oh, okay. Well, then hang on. I'll sit back. Go on, Ed. Tell us how hard this is.
listen, the idea here was you had a big wide shot of the pub, and then you could go anywhere in it. That was the concept.
And yet, when he was in the wedding photo, he couldn't go anywhere out of the frame.
No, but the pub was. You're supposed to have enough of the pub for him to move around in it.
Well,
so
let's see if there's enough of the pub.
You didn't
Coming
shoot
up.
into the pub.
Here we go. How big is this shot?
It was
How big
too.
is it?
Oh, it's quite wide. It's a wide shot.
We were talking about this.
Obviously different to the previous slide. They swap slides in between.
I think we missed the trick. Not having him lift the pint of beer off the edge of shot,
Yeah.
and then the beer spilling out because it's only half a glass. That would have been.
Yeah, Mr. Gag there. Yeah.
As I said to Rob the other day, 30 years late, the gag comes in, which is par for the course, I have to tell you. Right, it's 30 years later. We could have done this. Is this not true, Ed? The writers, we've just shot that scene.
Who's this band? Who's this
Oh
band?
yeah, no, I've had that. I've had that with a famous, which Jennifer Saunders had. Sorry, I shouldn't mention her name. Prince Andrew. No, it wasn't. And she handed me a rewrite and said, I think this is better. I think we can do this would be better for this scene. And I looked at it and I went, Jennifer, we've just shot that. Moving on.
That is a really late delivery script.
Yeah.
So let me try a different.
This band was modelled on a band I was in called Fatty and the Dids.
I wanted to know about the band.
And
Yes. Oh, you know about the band, don't you?
It's Fatty and the Dids. Oh yes, I did some research because they were lovely men. I used to know them. I won't go into it. It's something to do with the film, but I'm not going to talk about that.
yeah, we don't.
I tell you, I will actually contact my lawyers. But Dobbin and Gaza, who were the character names of the two men in the band, from Lister's band at those days, Smeg and the Heads, were actually played by Jeff Walker, Bill Steer, and
Oh, you're frozen, Lip.
Where's on the punchline?
Frozen on the
Grindcore
punchline.
band. Can anybody name it? There, begins with a C. Do I win a prize for that?
Ah.
So tell us about your band,
guys.
Rob.
You
What's
said
it
you
called?
needed someone to play, obviously who could play, and they were never heard of again by appearing in Red Dwarf. They were never heard of.
And how did your career go after appearing in Red Dwarf Coup?
She went down.
Did
She made a right royal mess of it.
Made a right royal mess of your career. Rob, tell us about this band. Where did this song come from?
We did. I think we were slightly better than but only slightly. And the drummer was Dobbin, and he did join the Police. That was true.
In your band? This was all true. This was really your band. And
Yeah.
where does come from? Who wrote
Oh, we just made that up. The thrash metal guys just jammed, I think. Hard to tell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any story behind the casting of Emil? It must have been strange getting the younger Lister. Did Craig sit in?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yes, it's his younger brother, and it is remarkable how similar they are and how different, if you see what I mean. But he was great. He's right into it. He got really enthusiastic into it. And he was fun to work with.
Was he in the business, or was this just a one-off?
I can't remember.
I think he
To be
did
brutally honest with you.
a bit of acting. I think he got.
Had he done fans? Do you know if he'd done any acting, Emil, before this? He must have done, because he couldn't have been that good.
You do remember the chicken song fondly, and this weekend when Spitting Image comes back without the services of Grant Naylor.
Are you out suggesting that the chicken song is worse than Because
no, chicken song's a great song.
it came up as I love it when the chicken song comes up on the chase or one of those quizzes. Here we are. How did you do that, Ed?
Well, I can't start to describe how complicated it is.
Have you seen the new Spitting Image, Rob?
I haven't. I don't think in this day and age it's a thing you can do, really. You can't take the piss out of the way people look.
Satire.
I totally agree. You can't take the piss out of the way people look.
You can't. Good.
No.
You can't.
No,
It's
And
not
anybody
fair.
could do it to you because.
no. Even though you look
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it personally.
Have we got to the magnificent erection of Craig's pad yet?
Excuse me.
No, coming up soon. I think after this model shot, we come to...
Is it my part?
I think it's coming to your part soon. Very soon, Koo.
Coming to you soon,
I'm not actually watching.
Coming
it, so
to
let me
you,
know.
Koo.
Coming soon, Koo, as they say.
Thank you. Enough.
Koo is coming soon. Don't worry.
Oh, somebody's bigging it up. Watched it last night. It was funny and visually great.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
What was?
Crypto fascist was a big sort of thing at the time. I'm not even sure.
70s. It was a 70s
Oh,
kind of
when was it?
Trotskyist thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No currency. It's before the days of currency.
And who's this woman? This was some actor we picked up at the last minute. I don't know, Ed, how many of the words I actually wrote for her were in this.
You did a great job, Ruby. I won't have a word said against her.
What, did she rewrite it? I can only
She's
apologise.
not the most accurate study, if I remember, Ed. She has a knack of, but she's so good with words herself. She does have a knack
It's
of.
pretty good. I'm not complaining.
No, she's good, but it's not necessarily what you wrote.
And certainly you probably didn't write the snorts in either. That's something that she adds for comedic value.
Dave D, Dozy Beacon, Mick and Titch. That's definitely me.
I'm amazed she's got that out because she's never heard of them.
Dozy Biggie Mick my God, she's never heard
She
of
wouldn't have heard of them because they weren't big in America, as my
No,
memory
probably didn't
goes.
crack the state. Probably didn't crack the state. So where was this filmed, Ed? Where was the mansion?
It was called the Lime Coup, you know. Where was it, Coup?
Yeah, it's Lyme. I've got it. I do remember. It was a long time ago. It was Lyme Stately Home up near Stockport in Cheshire. A lovely place. It made me relax because
Home from home for you.
well, what could have been? That was
Yeah, it looks a bit like Buckingham Palace.
yes. But Palace, lovely place by the way, but very damp.
Damn.
There's a
Now,
smell.
The music you're hearing here,
There's a
this
smell
is
about it. Yes, I don't know what it is.
Did it give you a slight?
Lovely lady, the mother.
So in terms
Rupert
of
Bates jumping out of the car.
narrative, the narrative grammar here, I'm not quite sure where we are. We're not in one of the photos, are we? We're in this new reality now that was created.
Yeah, no, we moved into an alternative reality. Exactly right. And that music you heard was Craig's music as well. That Cash music. Yeah.
Benjamin's mum went
That's how he really felt.
with Dave D. There you go.
Now, this shot of the statue, I can't tell you how. No, it was very easy.
Did you just make a huge statue, Ed? What did
Yeah,
you...
exactly.
It was pretty good, that Cash song, actually, yeah.
And actually, the guards, Ed, one of them is an old mate of yours, isn't he?
Rupert Bates here jumped out the car while it was still moving and didn't get any extra money for it.
And he's the son of, God, isn't he connected? Isn't his dad an actor?
Well, apparently he's
Yeah.
moved.
Very established actor who's in It Ain't Half What Mum and stuff like that.
Does anybody know Robert A?
Hang on, here we go.
Oh,
Ooh, you haven't changed an inch. As Andrew said.
I was quite nervous.
It is as if the time had not passed. Age shall not
Hey,
wither.
you can act.
Fallen away. Yes, I thought I did rather a good job on it, although not enough lines.
It's a good line.
Not enough lines.
A very small part, as we've mentioned before.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And,
I thought you'd try and slide that in.
We
Yeah.
heard you were used to small parts. That was the.
Enough.
It was saying, shouldn't Craig's hose have been larger because of the body swap implication?
All I'll say about Craig is he had terrible table manners. And, we did have a lovely lunch after and a lovely chat. Everyone was lovely. They're super sweet. Everybody. But Robert Addy, what a lovely man.
Is that Prince Andrew in the background?
No. Is it?
Oh, okay.
Fuck me, was it? No. Back, Edward. Not now. Not now. So, please, this is getting out of hand. I might have to leave at very short notice. But my scene has been, as you can see, still standing the test
If
of
all you're going
time.
to do is bloody moan and you won't tell us any dirt on Prince Andrew, I suggest you fuck off, quite honestly.
Oh, you can't say
I don't
that.
know what this booking was the point of this.
Bring him on Holland to Jones. Hang on, he's still in it.
Going to get some bloody gossip. What was the point?
All I'll say to you, Paul Jackson, is fuck off.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Oh.
There's another principal artist that walked out on us, Paul. God,
sorry.
how many has that been over
I'm
the
sorry,
years?
for me personally, I don't think I've ever walked out on you, Ed. Oh, my God. Koustakis walked out on me.
Koustakis, did you say? Shoo, good
Koustakis has walked out on me. Boy, I don't know what to say. Well, I'm sorry, folks, if I've truncated your pleasure there in hearing tales from Koo of the
As Andrew said.
shoot.
So, good speech here from Chris.
I love this
We
guy.
shot all these, obviously we shot these on location before we got into studio, so it's quite weird when you go on location and have to shoot little bits from various episodes and hope they all fit in, and the way that they characterize themselves and the way they perform, very good, I think, and particularly this episode, because a lot of outside shooting.
Love it.
And she has got a hint of David Trefoil, hasn't she? She has got a hint of... what's the show called?
What?
Red Dwarf. Shameless.
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 There's a hint of Shameless in Koo's later years, I'm afraid.
No, you wrote a really good line coming up here. It's his Rimmer's End line. He gets the idea that he's going to get the the tension. And when you cut to the poor boy in bed with
David
unexplained boxing gloves on.
David, what? Yes, he's unexplained boxing gloves, which is a nice game. David Wallace, you are absolutely the question I asked Rob yesterday morning. So, who exactly, in the days before instant cameras and Polaroids and took this photo of the dormitory with these boys sleeping? I want to know how that was.
It was the music master, and we.
And you found it in his archive.
There he is. Yeah, the music master took that shot.
Trawled back.
Or was it the head of the scout club?
I love his teddy bear with the 5-star general hat.
Yeah, yeah.
These little glimpses of Rimmer's past life do make you. I mean, the poor man, no wonder he's as screwed up as he is.
The poor kid, when he, in the stage directions, he had to turn the light on, but of course he had these whopping great boxing gloves on, so he couldn't turn the light on, so he had to just sort of wave his hand out the edge of shot. Something I hadn't anticipated until we actually got to location.
Well,
the other kid's very good in this. This
there's
kid.
so many difficulties, Ed, you can't be expected to spot them all, can you?
No, exactly.
It's such difficult.
How am I supposed to turn on a light with a pair of
Did he question why he was asked to wear these boxing gloves? Ed, did you have to explain to him, or did you just?
Yeah, I explained to him that he was training to be a boxer in his sleep, which is something he embraced.
You do wonder about these young actors coming in doing this strange stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible, really, isn't it? Now, this scene, when I heard it back, I thought, oh, for some reason, this is Bilko dialogue. He's actually talking like Bilko. Will you shut up? I'm trying to talk to the kid.
Again, shot on location. Awful lot of location in this episode.
He actually is very credible as a young Rimmer, isn't he? And he got the salute right.
Yeah, he was good, and the other kid was good. Thicky.
Great casting, yeah, great casting. And Thicky Holden.
Just another little wipe there, just slid in, where he comes out of the street.
Mentioned it was so hard.
It was a period of time when Mike Agnew and I are sitting there. He said, "How are you going to do that?" And I go, "Well, I don't know."
Very good, Peter. Yeah, we'll give you that one. Talking in my sleep. Very good.
Yeah, boxing, sleep boxing.
Was it the same actor who played Josh in My Parents Are Aliens?
Aliens? I don't know. I only know Carla from My Parents Are Aliens.
Yes, Andy's got the
Andy, I think that's probably the reason, Andy. I think well done, because many of us were puzzling away, Andy.
Well done.
I had no idea what on earth it could
What's the
be.
thing that parents used to do?
Yeah, clever disappearance of the H. Thank you for spotting that. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
The H is gone.
You've got to be really careful about detail like that. Once you've made a rule, you've got to stick to it. Like, not just bloody abandon it because it suits the plot.
No, we've abandoned it because he's alive. He's a human being.
Right, that's right. As opposed to Timeslides, where we abandoned it because it was a better gag.
Yeah. So the shot coming up where for some inexplicable reason they all walk through a storage depot with boxes of dynamite in it. When we actually hit the
line alert.
What?
Good line. Coming.
No, it's gone. Rachel, and get out the puncture repair.
Puncture repair kit. Round of applause. Now, when he does this is inexplicable, moving around doing this stuff. And then when the explosion happens, which is about now, I remember being in the production gallery and looking around to everyone going, was that all right? And a voice popped up. I think it was probably Paul's who went, well, he blew his legs off. Of course it was all right.
That was code for we're not doing it again, Ed.
Exactly right.
It was as right as it was going to be, mate.
Yeah. Very good. Oh, what's this?
Hang on, what is this?
Hang on. What do we got here? Ah!
Hello! Hi, me! How are you?
Wow.
Hello.
This was
I'm late because I have just come from my holiday hideaway in Hawaii. How are you?
We are very well. We don't really need to see you, but it's very nice of you to join us. Adolf, you had a tiny party.
He's gone.
I didn't have a chance to say fuck
Hello.
off, Adolf. Fuck off, Adolf.
Hey.
I've always wanted to say it. Fuck off, Adolf.
Yeah, did you have sex with... Did you
Not
ever
now,
have...
Eva. Not now, Eva. Heil me.
How'll you? Did you ever have sex with
not?
Prince Andrew?
Who? I love the royals. They should have been on my side. Well, one of them was, of course.
It's all coming out now. It's all coming out in the world.
Oh, he missed his opportunity. He would be now he's the monarch and his
You must be pleased. You must be pleased. You must be pleased to have been on the dictator's calendar, Adolf. That must have given you some.
No, you got it wrong. In fact, I was December's man of the month because I thought I'd better look nice to the children for Santa Hitler.
And how was it filming with Craig? Was he
An upstart. He had no right to be on my podium.
No, he did not.
How many testicles have you got, please,
Strange
Adolf?
boy.
Adolf,
I've got three.
Let me just confirm the rumor, Adolf. How many testicles do you have?
I got three. I had one removed 10 years before the war.
Well, that left you with three, or you had three to
No,
start?
it left me with three. I had four to start with.
Man, you must have a cluster, as the old guy goes.
I have as much testosterone and I'm so angsty for all those years. Angsty. You see, it's a condition. Testosterone makes little men very, very, very powerful.
Oh, you are short, so that is the correct thing. Shorter than Napoleon?
Napoleon, no. Bigger by a quarter of an inch.
Okay, well, as I said, Adolf, that's all very lovely. Now, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off, Adolf.
One thing I want to say to my nephew, Toby. Heil me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I feel the same.
I'll be the same, pet.
We're getting D-Mob happy now, guys. I'm afraid it is coming towards the end of Series 3. And we're just pissing about, really. So we hope you enjoyed the episode. It was a good one, actually. I don't feel the episode got quite the attention it deserved, apart from Ed's trick shots, obviously.
Well, frankly, there wasn't nearly enough me being able to talk about how difficult it was to shoot, but we'll let it go.
Rob, anything to say about the actual concept of Timeslides and why you wanted to do it?
No, it was just we'd sort of begun to settle into a pattern of doing one time travel episode. Well, it's two in this one, isn't there? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a cold, wet, windy October afternoon out there, and I think everybody's a bit sleepy.
It was actually a really good idea to be able to walk into photographs.
Yes,
That's such a clever idea. Because you sometimes, you look at photographs and you're going to go, I wonder what it would be like to be there. And then suddenly you find out. It's just a really intriguing and clever idea. I loved it.
Hey, did you tell us you were away filming shortly?
Yeah.
Do you want to announce what it is you're doing?
I'm going to do 3 1-hour murder mystery comedy specials with Johnny Vegas. Done some before. The first one was called Death on the Tyne. The second one was called Dial M for Middlesbrough. And one of the ones we've got one title sorted out. It's called the Squeals on the Bus. It's about a serial murderer who kills people to the lyrics of the Wheels on the Bus go round and round.
I hear it every day with 2 little grandsons. I hear the wheels on the bus every day.
That's one of the reasons for the murder. Oh no, I've blown it.
Little Rudy, 2.5 coming up, is really into the song Tutti Frutti.
Well, his name is Rudy, my older grandson, and so I taught him Tutti Frutti, oh Rudy. His mum sent me a fabulous clip yesterday of him doing Tutti Frutti, oh Rudy, oh wop, bopaloo, bopalop, bam, boom.
It is great. And I was listening to it on my Amazon Echo View thing, and it had the lyrics coming up. And when it came to the wop, bopaloo, bop, they had blanked out the wop.
W-O-P.
No.
It was a meaningless...
They had in the middle of a long word, nonsense word, of what Babaloo, and they blanked out WOP. Presumably it's just a software setting, isn't it, to blank it out? But also next Saturday night, I think I've got this right, is Nicholas Parsons night on Radio 4, and I'm doing the linking or the obit. The silly story is 11 years ago when I was still controller at the BBC. We made. When I was working in radio for the BBC, we made Nicholas Parsons' obit, would you believe, 11 years ago. Wow. And he outlived at least 3 or 4 of the contributors who were in the obit that we made. But
we've just been sent, actually, before everyone goes, Chris Barry is doing a virtual evening with him with one-to-one autographs tonight at 8.
Tonight at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, via MCon's Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. But there's a link in the chat, guys. So,
Okay.
Paul, carry on.
No, sorry, just saying. It's Nicholas had quite an amazing career, and it's Nicholas Parsons night next Saturday. I think I'm right on Radio 4.
Great. Good.
So, Ed, how hard is the new shoot going to be?
Well, nothing as complicated and difficult as anything doing on Red Dwarf, but there's some bits, things that. Actually, funny enough, in one of the earlier drafts, there's a bit, Paul, you'll like this, there's a bit where a bus is supposed to go over a cliff. And they said, well, how are you going to shoot that, Ed? And I said, well, just look at Paul Jackson's Young Ones. We just do it that way.
I'd give you the
No,
footage.
we can't put a bus over a cliff.
Well, I'll tell you how we do it. We got a London bus and got a stunt driver to drive over a cliff. That's how we did it.
That's how I did it. And the stunt driver, his
That's
name, I think, was called Tipping. The way he drove it over the bus, you'd never get away with it these days, is I said, how are you going to do this then, Tip? He went, well, I'll drive it towards the cliff and then I'll jump out. And I went, what? And that's exactly what he did. He's jammed his foot on the accelerator, kept it there, led his foot off the clutch, the accelerator was jammed down, and as it approached the edge of the cliff, he jumped out.
On the obviously on the other side from where the camera was. I'd have been pretty pissed off if he'd got the wrong side in.
Yeah. Luckily, he jumped out the right side, so you couldn't see him jumping out.
I think it was tipping.
astonishing.
Him being allowed to do that now, a double-decker bus in a quarry somewhere in Surrey.
And not only that, once the bus had hit the quarry deck, it was supposed to explode straight away, but it didn't. So I went over to the bus to see if there was anything I could do. And I was in the bus. I walked into the bus, and Dave Barton, the visual effects designer, was in there, gingerly putting something together. And he looked at me as I walked in, and he went, "Get out."
It was the opposite of a bomb
I walked
disposal.
out like this. Because I was just walking into about 15 tons of
He
gelignite.
was doing the opposite of bomb disposal. He was doing bomb linkage, basically.
Bomb idiot, I think.
Listen, Lee, we should say thank you to Lee Corns.
Yes, where's Lee Corns? Bring him in. Let's have the real Lee.
Are you still there, Lee?
Still there, Lee.
No, he's well got. Hello, mate.
Hey, Lee, thanks for joining us.
Hey.
Oh, you guessed. You guessed.
I did, sorry, we
They
did.
all guessed it was you.
Oh, there's no
What a
fooling
shame.
professionals. No fooling professionals.
No, and
Great fun.
by the way, folks, I don't want to say anything about Lee's personal life, but we didn't have to send him any wigs. They were all everything that he was wearing today was in his
And the
wardrobe.
blouse, Paul. And
Oh, I can see Mary. Mary, I can see you.
Mary, too late now, lovely.
Mary.
Come on in, Mary. Come on in. Hello, Mary.
Let's see Mary.
Oh, she's popping in now. Where were you when we needed you?
I was there all the time.
You did an excellent Eva Brown. Thank you.
Did you
Go on to it.
These are her pots that she made. She's a potter.
Oh, look at that.
the Potter, right? There
Very
you
good.
Beautifully
potter.
positioned either side of your head.
Yes,
Really
yes.
nice. Nice framing. Nice framing, sir.
Nation Potty.
go. Adolf Potter. There we go.
Great
Guys,
seeing
I
you
think
all
that's
again.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, next week it's
Last days.
the last what? I've forgotten that.
Name of the episode.
We're really on it
Name of
today,
the
aren't
Isn't
we?
it?
Last day, yeah. I was because he was from the last detail. I was just
Last day.
and
I'm sorry, I don't know what. You know, sometimes it's in the zeitgeist. We're all getting knackered today. I don't know.
Come on, it's the Sunday red wine from 12 o'clock. You know that?
Yeah.
I need to go and get a red wine now.
Yeah, red wine for breakfast. That was a mistake.
Episode you wrote, Rob,
On
is
your
called The Last
cornflakes.
Day.
these are really hard to do, aren't they?
They are.
People
Yeah.
don't realise.
You what? You have to work. Of course, it would be easy nowadays, but then
Yeah.
it's so difficult.
Could I ask you one thing, boys?
Yeah.
Are you all wearing trousers?
Yes.
You're not unclothed under the
Funnily
camera.
enough, I have been through a lot of the summer, but now I've got my trousers.
It's a trade secret.
Because, you know, that kind of
You're
thing
not,
does go
Lee?
on.
Because you're
That
not.
does go on.
Were you wearing a skirt for? Oh, okay.
Lounge pants.
Oh, yes. Golf pants.
Okay, Lee. Just final question.
Yes.
How was Prince Andrew in bed?
Next week,
Make me a lot of money.
episodes, and
Time to go, boys. Time to
On
go.
that note,
Yes, I think.
On that note.
thank you, Lee, for joining us
Consider
this
this in the
week.
pub. Yeah, lovely. Thanks for
Thank
inviting
you for
me.
joining us this week, Lee.
Bye now, man. See ya.